Lost civilizations are not such an extraordinary idea. I mean, nobody knew that the Indus Valley civilization existed at all until some railway work was done around Mohenjo-daro in 1923. Suddenly, a whole civilization pops up out of the woodwork that's just never been taken into account before the 1920s. We still can't read its script. I get it that mainstream archaeology doesn't want to go there, but that's my job. No. Göbekli Tepe is a bit more nuanced. We have stone circles, we have some interesting astronomical alignments. When you have a perfectly north-south aligned structure, perfectly north-south, it's a true north, not magnetic north, then you are dealing with astronomy.
I call us a species with amnesia because I think we've lost our memory of an entire episode of human history, just being wiped completely from our memory. And until we recover our memory of that lost episode of human civilization, we will not be complete ourselves. We need to know who we are and where we came from.
In the rugged landscapes of southwestern Turkey, the Lycian civilization remains one of history's mysterious marvels, famed for its breathtaking stone-carved tombs and complex societal structures.
I think we're looking at hints and clues that something is missing in our story.
But how did this ancient culture achieve such architectural feats, intricately carving entire complexes directly into sheer cliffs? As we delve into the ruins of Zanthos, Tlos and Mycenae, we uncover not only the technical prowess, but also the profound myths that propelled Lycia beyond mere survival, embedding it deeply in the tapestry of human heritage.
Again, unfortunately, archaeologists largely sneer at myth. But I think the myths of the world, those that have survived, are the Hall of Records of the lost past.
Nestled along the rugged southwestern coast of Turkey, Lycia is a region framed by mountainous terrain, dense forests and steep cliffs, which not only made it difficult to access, but also helped preserve its rich and distinct identity. This isolation meant that Lycia developed somewhat independently of its neighbors, cultivating a unique historical footprint that remained largely untouched until European explorers stumbled upon it. The first accounts of Lycia's mysterious ruins surfaced during the 18th century, when travelers like the French explorer Charles Texier and the English archaeologist Richard Pocock documented the extensive ruins, rock-cut tombs, and grand sarcophagi that dotted the landscape. Their writings sparked a wave of curiosity and set the stage for more focused explorations.
If you wish to pass information to a distant future, you wouldn't be smart to just write it down. How can we know that our script is going to be readable by any other culture, let's say 10,000 years in the future?
One of the pivotal figures in Lycian studies was Charles Fellows, an English archaeologist whose expedition in 1838 marked a turning point in uncovering the past of this enigmatic civilization. Driven by fascinating tales of remarkable ruins, Fellows undertook a systematic exploration of the region, meticulously mapping the area and documenting numerous sites. His work wasn't just about identifying locations, he detailed everything from the friezes and tombs to the fortresses he encountered, providing a comprehensive look at the remnants of Lycian society. This thorough documentation played a crucial role in introducing Lycian civilization to the broader academic world and eventually led to the first official archaeological excavations under the auspices of the British government.
The second issue with ruling out completely the possibility of a lost civilization is that archaeology sets itself up as the sole arbiter as to what is and what is not evidence.
Through Fellows' dedicated efforts, the wonders of Lycia were brought into the limelight, revealing a civilization that had mastered the art of building in harmony with its challenging landscape. During his explorations, Charles Fellows unearthed several significant sites that continue to shed light on the ancient civilization of Lycia. Zanthos, the once flourishing capital, stands as a monumental testament to Lycian culture, blending funerary architecture that tells tales of a society rich in traditions and artistic expression. Among its most notable structures is the Nereid monument, an elaborate tomb from around 400 BC, named after the sea nymphs that adorn its friezes. The detailed bas-reliefs depicting humans and gods illustrate a cosmopolitan blend of Lycian and Hellenistic styles, making Zanthos a treasure trove for historians and archaeologists alike. The site also boasts ruins of an acropolis, several Byzantine churches, and unique pillar tombs, offering a vivid glimpse into the past.
there are unexplained issues in our past,
Right.
which are presently not explained by the system that teaches us about the past.
Moving on to Tlos, this city is another jewel in Lycia's archaeological crown, famed for its extensive tombs and a well-preserved acropolis. Perched on a rocky outcrop, the Acropolis provided strategic views and served as a formidable fortress through various epochs, including Lycian, Roman, and Ottoman times. One of the city's most captivating tales revolves around the legendary hero Bellerophon, who, according to myth, tamed the winged horse Pegasus. His supposed tomb, marked by a striking relief of this mythical scene, highlights the fascinating intermingling of myth and mortuary traditions in Lycian culture. Tlos also featured a plethora of architectural wonders like an ancient theatre, Roman baths, and a stadium, underscoring its significance as a cultural and administrative hub. Further exploring the region, Mycenae, though less documented than Zanthos and Tlos, is critically important for understanding Lycian burial customs. The intricately carved tombs here are not just architectural feats, but also serve as a canvas for rich narrative reliefs and inscriptions in the Lycian language. These inscriptions are invaluable, providing insights into the social structures, laws, and daily life of the Lycian people, and offering a profound perspective on their linguistic and cultural landscape. Each of these sites, discovered or studied extensively by fellows, continues to offer invaluable insights into the ancient world, revealing the complexity and richness of Lycian society. When exploring the ancient burial practices of the Lycians in sites such as Zanthos, Tlos, and Mycenae, a fascinating contrast emerges with Egypt's Valley of the Kings. Both regions are renowned for their elaborate tombs designed to honor the deceased, yet they embody profoundly different architectural styles and cultural philosophies. The Valley of the Kings, with its subterranean tombs, was crafted to prepare for the afterlife and separate the dead from the living, reflecting a focus on the otherworldly.
The Book of What is in the Duat, which you will find painted on the walls of many of the tombs in the Valley of the Kings.
In stark contrast, Lycian tombs are monumental and highly visible within the landscape, signifying a different approach to death and remembrance where the dead remain a part of the community's everyday life, visible and integrated within their environment. The pivotal explorations by Charles Fellows not only brought these Lycian sites to the broader attention of the world, but also secured crucial interest and funding from institutions like the British Museum. His initial expeditions in the 1840s, sanctioned by the British government, eventually led to the transportation of significant artifacts, including pieces from the Nereid monument back to England. These artifacts would later become central exhibits at the British Museum, sparking debates about cultural heritage and the ethics of artifact repatriation. Fellows detailed his adventures and findings in An Account of Discoveries in Lycia, a publication that not only catalogued his discoveries, but also offered insights into the potential connections between the Lycian script and the early Greek alphabet. This hinted at a rich cultural interchange between the Lycians and their Greek neighbors, providing a deeper understanding of their interactions. The discoveries in Lycia filled significant gaps in our understanding of the Eastern Mediterranean's historical dynamics during antiquity, revealing a civilization that, while under the influence of Greek and Persian empires, forged a unique identity that integrated these influences into a distinct cultural and political framework. The architectural legacy of Lycia offers a fascinating glimpse into the region's unique identity and historical interactions. Among the most striking features of this heritage are the Lycian funerary monuments, particularly the rock-cut tombs that blend local and external influences beautifully. These tombs, intricately carved directly into the limestone cliffs of Lycia, often take the form of small temples or mimic traditional Lycian wooden houses, complete with detailed pediments, columns, and reliefs. The styles reflect both Greek and Persian influences, yet they maintain distinctive Lycian characteristics, portraying a society that was receptive to external ideas while fiercely preserving its independence. The house-type tombs, for instance, replicate the facades of Lycian wooden homes, featuring pseudo-beams and gabled roofs that echo the domestic architecture of the era. On the grander side, temple-type tombs imitate Greek temples with their intricate Ionic or Doric columns and richly decorated friezes, illustrating the cultural exchange between the Lycians and the Greeks. A prime example of this architectural marvel is the tomb of Amyntas in modern-day Phthia, dating back to the 4th century BC. This tomb stands out for its grand scale and detailed design, resembling a temple facade with two Ionic columns supporting a large pediment. The pediment and the tomb's inner chamber showcase the exquisite Lycian craftsmanship, adept at manipulating the region's limestone. An inscription in Lycian script above the doorway, identifying the tomb as the resting place of Amyntas, son of Hermagios, provides valuable insights into the personal identities and social structures of ancient Lycia. An interesting parallel can be drawn between the rock-cut tombs of Lycia and the renowned Nabatean city of Petra in Jordan. Both civilizations crafted elaborate structures into sheer rock faces, primarily for use as tombs or religious sites. While Petra is famous for its monumental scale and blend of Eastern and Hellenistic architectural styles, Lycian tombs are typically more modest in scale, but equally intricate in detail. Unlike Petra's tombs, which are part of a broader urban landscape, Lycian tombs are often standalone monuments set in remote cliff faces. As excavations in the region continue, archaeologists are moving beyond these iconic tombs to uncover urban centers, religious sanctuaries, and domestic structures, painting a fuller picture of daily life in ancient Lycia. Concurrently, there are ongoing efforts to preserve these deteriorating stone monuments, which are vulnerable to environmental and human-induced damage. The continued study of Lycia is reshaping historical narratives about the interactions between the Greek and Persian worlds, particularly through its unique blend of art and political structures, showing how Lycian culture managed to bridge East and West while maintaining a distinct identity.
This is quite a famous phenomenon in Turkey, that there are huge cities. They look like ant farms on an enormous scale that are dug out under the earth. Hundreds and hundreds of rooms. That huge efforts was put into digging deep beneath the earth and creating these shelters.
Nestled in the heart of Turkey's enchanting Cappadocia region lies Derinkuyu, an ancient underground city that stands as a monument to the ingenuity and resilience of bygone civilizations. Its fascinating origins, complex construction, and versatile uses offer a glimpse into a community that sought refuge beneath the Earth's surface, crafting a hidden world of remarkable depth and complexity.
And archaeology does not have a good explanation about what they're there for, or why they were built, or when they were built. They're all cut out of stone. You can only date objects that were left in them. You can't say when they were actually made.
The story of Derinkuyu begins in the 8th–7th centuries BCE, with the Phrygians, an Indo-European people renowned for their architectural skills, laying its foundation. What likely started as a modest subterranean enclave was expanded by successive cultures, each adding layers of depth and function to this architectural marvel. Notably, in the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, early Christians seeking sanctuary from Roman persecution carved out additional living quarters, worship spaces, and communal areas.
They were used by Christians, they were used by Muslims, they were used back in 2,000 plus years ago as homes in some cases.
The construction of Derinkuyu was no small feat. It involved the excavation of approximately 2.5 million cubic meters of volcanic rock, known as tuff, which is soft enough to carve but hardens when exposed to air, ensuring stability for the city's expansive underground structures. Derinkuyu's purpose extended far beyond a mere hideout. It was a bastion during invasions and conflicts in the strategically significant region of Cappadocia.
What makes sense of those underground cities to me is that they were built as places of refuge that people could go into during an episode of meteor bombardment during the Younger Dryas.
Beyond serving as a refuge, it also offered a complete underground living environment with water wells, food storage, livestock pens, and even a prison.
They're fine. They have air vents, they have water, they're incredibly well thought out.
Its intricate layout supported a vibrant community life, with residential areas, communal kitchens, and places of worship, reflecting a society capable of sophisticated urban planning and social organization. The city's capacity to house up to 20,000 people, coupled with its advanced infrastructure, including an extensive ventilation system and a complex water distribution network, speaks volumes about the ancient world's architectural and engineering prowess.
I spent hours down there just wandering around and looking at this amazing place.
Of particular note is Derinkuyu's significance to early Christians who found not just a safe haven, but a spiritual sanctuary within its depths. The numerous chapels and churches adorned with religious symbols and bas-reliefs provided a focal point for community and faith, underscoring the city's importance as a religious retreat. Derinkuyu, an underground world equivalent to an 18-story building below the Earth's surface. This ancient city, carved deep into the Earth to a depth of around 200 feet, provided a year-round comfortable living environment. Thanks to its cooler and more stable temperatures, it's fascinating to think about how it was designed to house up to 20,000 people, along with their livestock and possessions, showcasing an incredibly organized society, adept at managing life's necessities in such a confined yet complex space. With at least 18 levels, Derinkuyu was more than just a series of tunnels. It was a fully functioning underground metropolis. The city was meticulously organized into residential areas, communal spaces, and even sectors for livestock, indicating a society that valued structure and community. The intricate layout ensured that despite being underground, movement within the city was fluid. The city's innovative ventilation system is nothing short of remarkable. Thousands of shafts ensured that fresh air reached the deepest levels, a feat that underscores an advanced understanding of environmental control and airflow. This system was crucial for not only providing fresh air, but also for dispersing smoke from cooking and lighting, maintaining air quality for the large population residing within. But perhaps what stands out most about Derinkuyu are its defensive features. Massive stone doors could be rolled across passages to seal off the city, transforming it into a fortress at a moment's notice. The corridors, intentionally narrow, were designed to thwart large groups of invaders, allowing defenders to control movement throughout the city effectively. Moreover, the hidden entrances and exits, some connected to the surface by miles-long tunnels, speak volumes about the strategic planning that went into safeguarding the city. These secret passages allowed for stealthy entrances and exits, crucial for gathering intelligence or making escapes during sieges. Despite the extensive exploration that has peeled back some of its layers, Derinkuyu keeps parts of itself hidden, teasing the imagination with what lies in its uncharted depths. While we've uncovered much, there's still a vast expanse that remains out of reach. Safety concerns and the potential risk of collapse have kept certain sections off-limits, sparking a wildfire of speculation and theories about the full scale of this underground labyrinth. Could there be entire levels we've yet to discover, or hidden rooms filled with ancient artifacts waiting to tell their part of Derinkuyu's tale? The lore surrounding Derinkuyu and its sister cities in Cappadocia weaves a rich tapestry of tales that blur the lines between history and legend. Stories of a vast network of tunnels connecting the underground cities suggest a sophisticated system used for trade, communication, or even as escape routes from invaders.
The two that I visited in the series are Derinkuyu and Kaimakli, and these two sites are joined by an 8-kilometer tunnel underground.
While some of these tunnels have been confirmed, the full extent of this network fuels the imagination about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. Speculation about Derinkuyu's past ventures into the realms of the extraordinary, with some suggesting it might have been a refuge for extraterrestrial visitors or a remnant of a lost advanced civilization. Although such theories stretch beyond the bounds of established archaeological evidence, they underscore the fascination Derinkuyu incites, reflecting the human penchant for mystery and the unexplained. Derinkuyu is a hidden gem that tells a tale of human resilience, architectural mastery, and the intricate history of Anatolia. This ancient underground city, a sanctuary carved from the earth, speaks volumes about the lengths to which people will go to protect their beliefs, their culture, and their way of life. Imagine a time between the 1st and 3rd centuries AD when early Christians, facing relentless persecution from the Roman Empire, sought refuge beneath the earth's surface. Derinkuyu became their sanctuary, a place where they could practice their faith in secret away from the oppressive gaze of Roman authorities. Within this subterranean haven, they carved out chapels and churches, adorning them with frescoes that depicted scenes from the Bible and Christian iconography, creating a space that was not just about survival, but about preserving their spiritual and cultural identity. But Derinkuyu was not an isolated refuge, it was part of a vast network of underground cities in Cappadocia, connected by miles of tunnels. These connections weren't just for escape or hiding, they represented a sophisticated system for trade, communication, and strategic movement, highlighting an advanced level of social organization and urban planning in ancient Cappadocia. This network of cities underlines the region's significance as a cultural and economic hub, showcasing the ingenuity of its people in creating a cohesive and cooperative community. The modern rediscovery of Derinkuyu is as fascinating as its history. In 1963, a local stumbled upon a mysterious room behind a wall in his home, unveiling the entrance to this ancient city. This discovery captured the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and the wider public, leading to the exploration of the city and its eventual opening to tourists. Today, Derinkuyu is not just an archaeological site, it's a major tourist attraction that draws people from all over the world eager to explore its ancient passageways, chapels, and the incredible engineering behind its construction. Derinkuyu's significance has been recognized on a global scale, as it, along with other sites in the Cappadocia region, has been designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This honor speaks to its value to humanity, preserving its history and architecture for future generations. The city stands as a symbol of what humans are capable of achieving when faced with existential threats, creating safe havens of remarkable complexity and beauty. Beyond its historical and architectural value, Derinkuyu serves as an educational resource, offering insights into ancient construction techniques, community living, and survival strategies. It continues to inspire and educate, reminding us of the depths of human ingenuity and the enduring spirit of communities that have faced adversity throughout history.
Indian culture is extremely, extremely ancient. We have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old. That is one of the mistakes in looking for a quote-unquote advanced civilization in the past, is that we tend to be looking for ourselves. Whereas it's possible for a civilization to be advanced in other ways.
Could the astonishing Kailasa temple at the Ellora caves, carved meticulously from a single massive rock, truly be the work of mere mortal hands?
There is a particular seal that has survived, and it shows a figure which is recognizable as the god Shiva.
This ancient architectural marvel, built in the 8th century under the patronage of King Krishna of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, stands as a monument not only to devotion and artistry, but also to an engineering prowess that seems almost superhuman.
I think we're confronted by an enormous mystery with megalithic sites all around the world, and we don't understand them properly.
With its elaborate carvings and grand scale, the Kailasa temple has sparked a captivating debate. Was this colossal structure really constructed using primitive tools of the age, or does it bear evidence of intervention by an advanced civilization, possibly beyond our earthly realm?
Some people think that the answer is extraterrestrial visitors. I don't think that's the answer, but who knows?
Tucked away in the basaltic hills of Maharashtra, the Ellora Caves complex is an architectural marvel of ancient India. Spanning from 600 to 1000 AD, these caves house a remarkable blend of Buddhist, Hindu, and Jain heritage. Among them, Cave 16, better known as the Kailasa Temple, stands out as the crowning glory of the site. Historically referred to as Veral, the area's location along ancient north-south trade routes undoubtedly played a critical role in its development. The Kailasa Temple, known for being the largest monolithic rock excavation in the world, showcases the advanced state of engineering and architectural skills during the 8th century. This temple was not built but rather carved top-down from a single massive rock, requiring meticulous planning and execution that speaks volumes about the capabilities of its creators.
There are unexplained issues in our past, which are presently not explained by the system that teaches us about the past.
Under the patronage of King Krishna I of the Rashtrakuta dynasty, the temple was commissioned around the mid-8th century. King Krishna I, also known as Krishna Rajanam, embarked on this ambitious project to emulate the sacred Mount Kailash, the mythological abode of Lord Shiva. The temple not only served as a place of worship, but also as a demonstration of the power and artistic aspiration of the Rashtrakutas. During a period of British colonial expansion in India, British officers often ventured on expeditions for leisure and exploration. It was during one such excursion that the lush, overgrown vegetation of the Maharashtra region, which had concealed the Ellora caves for centuries, finally gave way to one of the most significant archaeological discoveries in India.
A lot of archaeology that gets done doesn't get done because of a targeted search.
The year was 1819, and the caves, untouched and perfectly preserved as if in a time capsule, were stumbled upon accidentally by Captain John Smith and his party. The discovery by Captain Smith wasn't merely about uncovering a lost site, it was a revelation that peeled back the layers of India's rich and ancient civilization, which had thrived long before European powers set foot in the region. As Smith entered the caves, he was confronted with the grandeur of India's past, an intact cultural heritage that spoke volumes of its historical depth and complexity. However, Captain Smith left behind more than just the memory of his discovery. In what is now viewed as an act of historical vandalism, he inscribed his name and the date on a pillar inside Cave 10. At the time, such actions were common among explorers, who often left their marks as records of their presence. This graffiti, though frowned upon today, provided a tangible record marking the European discovery of the site and has since become a point of contention in discussions about heritage preservation versus the historical markers of colonial exploration. Following this accidental discovery, there was a renewed interest in the Ellora caves, leading to more systematic explorations and excavations. The Archaeological Survey of India, established in 1861, took on the mammoth task of excavating and preserving these ancient sites. Their efforts were crucial in maintaining the structural integrity and historical accuracy of the caves as they faced the dual pressures of time and increasing tourism. Detailed studies and documentation efforts were spearheaded by early explorers and scholars like James Burgess and later Ghulam Yazdani. Their meticulous work in cataloguing the sculptures, iconography, and architectural styles has been compiled into extensive reports and books, which remain invaluable resources for Indological studies today. This comprehensive documentation helps ensure that the Ellora caves, including the magnificent Kailasa temple, continue to be understood and appreciated not just as monuments, but as gateways to India's illustrious past. The Kailasa temple, also known as Cave 16 at the Ellora caves, truly stands as a testament to the ancient mastery of rock-cut architecture. This stunning structure isn't just a testament to grandeur, but also to a unique construction methodology that melds religious devotion with unmatched craftsmanship. Unlike traditional buildings constructed from the ground up, this temple was carved directly out of a single massive rock, a process that required not only extreme labor but also precise planning. The effort to remove approximately 200,000 tons of rock from the site underscores the monumental human endeavor that went into its creation, likely involving hundreds, if not thousands, of laborers across several generations.
Ancient cultures all around the world preserved a memory of a high civilization, of prehistory.
Symbolically, the temple mirrors Mount Kailasa, the mythical abode of Lord Shiva, suggesting that the architects intended to create a heavenly abode on Earth. This ambition is evident not just in the temple's scale, but also in its elaborate multi-storied design, which features a rare vertical expansion in rock-cut architecture. Each floor is intricately adorned with carvings and statues that bring to life stories from Hindu mythology, especially those focusing on Lord Shiva, enhancing both the religious and aesthetic appeal of the temple. Comparing the Kailasa temple to the ancient city of Petra in Jordan highlights its unique features. While Petra is renowned for its impressive facades carved into rock faces, the Kailasa temple goes a step further. It is not just a facade, but a complete excavation, with intricate vertical carvings that make its interiors as spectacular as its exteriors. Unlike Petra's relatively plain interiors, the Kailasa temple is elaborately detailed, with entire floors, columns, and ceilings that are ornately decorated to reflect Hindu religious themes. The engineering behind the Kailasa temple also addresses some significant challenges, such as maintaining structural integrity while removing massive volumes of rock. The architects and engineers employed their deep understanding of geology and engineering to ensure the stability and durability of the remaining structures. They even incorporated an ingenious drainage system to prevent water accumulation and erosion, during the region's heavy monsoon seasons. Moreover, strategic placements of openings and alignments within the temple structure allow natural light to flood its interiors, enhancing the spiritual and aesthetic experience for visitors. The layout also facilitates the circulation of air and movement of devotees, crucial during religious ceremonies. These intriguing aspects of the Kailasa temple, combined with the mysteries surrounding its construction, have fueled various theories about its origins and the techniques used in its elaborate design. From theories suggesting extraterrestrial influence to speculations about advanced ancient technologies or a network of secret chambers, the temple continues to be a subject of fascination and scholarly debate.
I think the dating of quite a number of megalithic sites needs to be reconsidered.
These discussions not only celebrate the architectural genius of the temple's creators, but also deepen our appreciation for this ancient marvel. Exploring the mysteries of the Kailasa temple at a more refined level reveals a range of fascinating theories that try to explain its incredible construction. One such theory suggests that the technology and precision required for its creation in the 8th century might hint at extraterrestrial influence or the use of advanced ancient technology that has since been lost. While this idea captivates the imagination, most scholars and archaeologists believe that the temple's construction was well within the capabilities of human ingenuity at the time, pointing to similar rock-cutting techniques used across India long before the temple was built. Another intriguing theory about the Kailasa temple involves the possibility of a network of secret tunnels and chambers beneath the complex. Local legends and some speculative reports suggest that these could have served as passages for religious ceremonies or as escape routes during invasions. However, thorough archaeological investigations have yet to confirm these claims, and the natural rocky terrain of the area makes such an extensive network rather unlikely. The alignment of the Kailasa temple with celestial bodies forms yet another theory. Some believe that the temple, like many ancient structures, was designed in alignment with certain stars or planets to harness cosmic energies during significant astronomical events such as solstices and equinoxes. While there are notable celestial alignments at other ancient sites that lend some support to this theory, concrete evidence linking the Kailasa temple's orientation with celestial events remains elusive. As these theories continue to pique curiosity and scholarly debate, the significance of preserving such a monumental site has never been clearer. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, the Ellora caves, including the Kailasa temple, are the focus of ongoing preservation efforts. These efforts are crucial in protecting the site's intricate carvings and magnificent structures from both natural elements and the impacts of modern-day tourism, ensuring that this ancient marvel can be appreciated for generations to come.
What do we date modern Indian civilization back to? Is it 5,000 years
since
ago?
the Indus
4,000.
Yeah, since the discovery of the Indus Valley civilization, you know, we have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old.
Deep within the heart of India, a breathtaking structure lies hidden in plain sight. The Ellora Caves, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, stand as a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Carved entirely out of solid rock, these awe-inspiring temples and monasteries raise a question that has haunted historians and archaeologists for centuries. How did ancient civilizations, without the aid of modern tools, manage to excavate a staggering 200,000 tons of basalt? Were they merely masters of manual labor, or did they possess knowledge and technologies lost to the sands of time? The discovery of the Ellora Caves in the Aurangabad district of Maharashtra, India, opens an intriguing chapter on how ancient sites in India came to be known to the global community. These caves, exemplary of monolithic rock-cut architecture, present a fascinating study of cultural evolution and historical rediscovery. Initially, the Ellora Caves were vibrant centers for activities central to the local community's spiritual life. Over centuries, the shifting dynastic and religious tides on the Indian subcontinent saw a decline in their prominence. The rise of other religious centers and the gradual decline of Buddhism, which had significantly influenced the early phases of the caves, contributed to this diminished status. As political instability grew, the caves' roles evolved, resulting in decreased usage. Interestingly, this period of obscurity helped in preserving the Ellora Caves. With fewer visitors and minimal economic activities, the caves suffered less wear and tear, which protected their original artworks and structures from significant alterations or damage that active religious sites typically undergo. Despite fading from prominence, the caves were not forgotten. Local folklore and traditions played a crucial role in keeping the memory of the caves alive among the rural populations. These tales, blending historical facts with mythological elements, added a mystical dimension to the caves, maintaining their significance in local culture. The broader recognition of the Ellora caves came with their rediscovery by John Smith, a British officer, during a hunting expedition in 1819. Drawn to the area by his curiosity about the source of the Mula Mutha River, Smith stumbled upon the caves almost by accident. This serendipitous discovery marked a pivotal moment, introducing the caves to the wider world. Smith's initial reports generated considerable interest among the British colonial administrators and scholars. The early sketches and descriptions of the caves began circulating in British academic circles, sparking further explorations and detailed studies. These initial European encounters with the caves were instrumental in framing the subsequent archaeological and artistic studies. Figures like James Ferguson, who visited the caves following Smith's reports, played a significant role in documenting the Ellora caves and arguing for their significance in the context of global architecture. Ferguson's work particularly helped classify the artistic and architectural styles of the caves, providing a scholarly foundation that would contribute to their recognition as a site of profound historical and cultural importance. The scholarly work initiated by figures like James Ferguson set the stage for a deeper appreciation of the Ellora caves, not just as historical structures, but as masterpieces of cultural and architectural significance. Carved directly into the Charanandri Hills basalt cliffs, the 34 caves at Ellora are a remarkable achievement in rock-cut architecture. The choice of basalt, a particularly hard volcanic rock, necessitated the use of sophisticated tools and techniques, showcasing the advanced engineering and stonework skills of the era. The layout of the Ellora complex resembles a rich tapestry of diversity, segmented into three main groups based on religious affiliation. To the south, the 12 Buddhist caves display the earliest phase of religious expression. The center houses 17 Hindu caves, indicative of a middle phase, while the 5 Jain caves to the north represent the final addition to this spiritual landscape. This arrangement not only mirrors the chronological evolution of the site, but also the shifting dynamics over several centuries, possibly reflecting the prevailing religious influences during different periods. Each group of caves is distinguished by unique artistic styles and iconography, aligned with the tenets and aesthetics of its respective religion. The Buddhist caves, for example, are adorned with images of the Buddha in various poses, alongside narratives from his life and scenes depicting Buddhist lore. In contrast, the Hindu caves feature an array of Hindu deities and rich mythological themes, demonstrating more elaborate artistic expressions as time progressed. The Jain caves, though fewer in number, are meticulously detailed with carvings of Tirthankaras and intricate geometric designs, highlighting the precision and depth of Jain artistic philosophy. Over the centuries spanning approximately 600 to 1000 AD, the styles and architectural techniques at Ellora evolved significantly. The earlier caves, primarily Buddhist, feature simpler and more austere designs, reflecting the initial phases of rock-cut architecture. As the focus shifted towards Hinduism with the rise of Hindu dynasties like the Rashtrakutas in the 7th century, the caves began to exhibit more sophisticated and ornate embellishments. This trend continued and even expanded with the later addition of Jain caves in the 9th century, underpinned by royal patronage, which introduced larger sculptures and complex multi-storied structures to the site. As we delve deeper into the architectural prowess demonstrated at the Ellora caves, the sheer scale of the endeavor becomes even more evident. Carved into the hard basalt cliffs of the Charanandri Hills, these caves are not just a showcase of ancient art, but also a monumental engineering achievement. The Kailasa temple, also known as Cave 16, is particularly noteworthy. It's estimated that about 200,000 tons of basalt were removed using rudimentary tools like hammers, chisels, and picks. This amount of rock removal dwarfs that of the Parthenon in Athens, making the temple all the more impressive. Comparing these feats to other historical constructions puts the Ellora caves in perspective. For instance, while the tombs of the Valley of the Kings in Egypt are also carved into rock, the limestone used there is much softer than the basalt at Ellora and the scale of excavation smaller per tomb. Additionally, the construction of the Roman Colosseum involved quarrying and transporting stone blocks rather than carving directly into bedrock, highlighting the unique challenges faced by the artisans at Ellora. The labor required for such a massive undertaking at Ellora was immense. Hundreds of artisans would have worked in shifts continuously over several decades. This not only required physical endurance, but also advanced planning and precision. The artisans had to ensure that each layer they carved matched the overall design perfectly, as any mistake would be irrevocable. They likely used a combination of geometric planning and three-dimensional visualization to achieve this level of detail. The sophistication didn't stop at carving. The use of iron tools during this period in India was critical, enabling the artisans to shape the hard basalt effectively. These tools were not just for fine detailing, but also for removing large volumes of rock, demonstrating the advanced metalwork techniques of the time. Furthermore, the hydraulic engineering incorporated into structures like the Kailasa temple was ahead of its time. Sophisticated drainage systems were designed to manage the heavy monsoon rains typical of the region. These systems, which included channels and gutters carved directly into the rock, were crucial for preventing water damage and erosion. This approach to water management, focusing on local water diversion, contrasts with contemporary systems like Roman aqueducts, which transported water over long distances but addressed different engineering challenges. An intriguing theory about the Ellora caves adds another layer of complexity to their design. It suggested that the layout and orientation of certain caves may align with specific astronomical events, such as solstices and equinoxes. This alignment could mean that during these key times of the year, sunlight would dramatically illuminate specific sculptures or carvings within the caves, creating a play of light and shadow that was both symbolic and spectacular. Such celestial alignments would not only have enhanced the aesthetic and spiritual experience, but also demonstrated a profound understanding of astronomy. As we further explore the complexities and grandeur of the Ellora caves, it becomes clear that their art and iconography are as diverse and profound as the engineering feats behind their construction. The Buddhist caves, far from being mere retreats, are vibrant narrative canvases that tell the story of Buddha's life and teachings through detailed sculptures and architectural designs. Cave 10 is a prime example, featuring a large stupa overlooked by a colossal statue of Buddha in a preaching pose. The walls around it are richly adorned with scenes capturing key moments from his journey towards enlightenment and his subsequent efforts to impart his wisdom to others. In contrast, the Hindu caves at Ellora are dominated by dramatic and intricate reliefs of gods and goddesses from the expansive Hindu pantheon. The most notable among these is Cave 16, the Kailasa temple, which is not just an architectural marvel but also a canvas for mythology. Carved to represent Shiva's mountain abode, it is replete with scenes from the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and the various exploits of Lord Shiva himself. This cave stands out as a monumental freestanding structure, sculpted entirely from a single rock, showcasing an entire mythological narrative in stone. Similarly, the Jain caves, particularly Cave 32, known as the Indra Sabha, feature meticulous carvings that reflect Jain values of symmetry and asceticism. These caves are adorned with delicate carvings of lotus flowers, celestial beings, and intricate geometric patterns. The detailed depictions of the Tirthankaras in various poses of meditation and teaching further emphasize the Jain philosophical outlook and its emphasis on tranquility and enlightenment. Drawing an interesting comparison, the nearby Ajanta caves, although similar in being a rock-cut complex, present a different artistic and functional focus. Exclusively Buddhist, the Ajanta caves primarily served as monasteries and prayer halls, and are renowned for their exquisite wall paintings and sculptures that depict scenes from the Buddha's life and the Jataka tales. Unlike Ellora, Ajanta features caves with horseshoe-shaped facades and lacks the architectural diversity seen in Ellora. Each cave at Ajanta is dedicated to a single tradition, whereas Ellora presents a more eclectic architectural panorama, including the astonishing Kailasa temple. This diversity at Ellora not only highlights a broader spectrum of life, but but also showcases the evolution of rock-cut architecture from purely monastic uses to elaborate temples and intricate pilgrimage sites, carved into the face of the same mountains.
The Indus Valley civilization, nobody actually knew that it existed until it was accidentally discovered while a railway was built. Then they found that this culture had a language, a fully developed written script. It's about 5,000 years old, but there isn't a single Rosetta Stone that enables us to translate that script into any more recent language. If you wish to pass information to a distant future, if you wish it to be preserved, you wouldn't be smart to just write it down.
Welcome to the mysterious and ancient city of Mohenjo-daro, one of the largest settlements of the Indus Valley civilization and a marvel of prehistoric urban planning buried deep in today's Pakistan.
Since the discovery of the Indus Valley civilization, we have to accept that civilization in India is at least 5,000 years old.
Now, let's unravel the secrets of this place, explore its sophisticated drainage systems, the iconic Great Bath, and decode what secrets might have existed in this magnificent city over 4,000 years ago.
I want to know what else is going to be found that hasn't been investigated yet at all. We're just touching the edge of a huge mystery.
Mohenjo-daro, situated in the Sindh province of Pakistan, is a key archaeological site from the Indus Valley civilization, also known as the Harappan civilization. Its name, translating to Mound of the Dead in Sindhi, hints at the mysteries buried within this ancient city, offering a unique glimpse into one of the world's earliest urban societies. The site was discovered in 1922 during a broader archaeological survey of the Indian subcontinent conducted by the Archaeological Survey of India. Rakaldas Bandyopadhyay, known as R.D. Banerjee, stumbled upon what he initially thought was a Buddhist stupa in the Larkana district. Further investigation revealed the ruins of an ancient city, predating any known Buddhist settlements, marked by sophisticated urban features like baked brick structures.
They found that there were these actually very, very sophisticated, very complex mud brick structures on a very large scale.
Major excavations kicked off in 1924 under Sir John Marshall, the then Director General of the Archaeological Survey of India, and his deputy, Ernest Mackay. Their efforts unveiled an advanced city with a well-planned layout, efficient drainage systems, brick houses, granaries, and public baths, all indicating a highly organized society. The excavation methods were quite methodical for the time, involving grid-based trench digging which allowed for a clearer understanding of the city's layout. Marshall also emphasized the use of photography and meticulous on-site notes to document the findings accurately. Among the most remarkable discoveries was the Great Bath, suggesting the site's use for ritualistic or ceremonial purposes, alongside a sophisticated sewage system that highlighted the city's advanced urban planning and sanitation awareness. Post-1947 partition of India, Mohenjo-daro became part of Pakistan, and new excavation phases were led in the 1950s and 1960s by Pakistani archaeologist Dr. Ahmad Hassan Dani. His work helped uncover lower layers of the city and explore residential areas that had not been previously excavated.
There's a lost civilization which is now accepted by archaeology within relatively recent memory, and that's the Indus Valley civilization.
These later excavations focused more on understanding the daily lives of the inhabitants, with numerous artifacts such as pottery, tools, and ornaments providing insights into their daily activities, trade practices, and cultural aspects. As archaeological techniques evolved, later excavations at Mohenjo-daro incorporated modern methods including stratigraphic analysis, which aided in more accurately dating the city's layers. There was also a significant emphasis on using refined conservation techniques to preserve delicate artifacts and building materials exposed during the digs. From the 1970s onwards, efforts predominantly shifted towards preserving the integrity of the site, as it faced threats from salinity, waterlogging, and deterioration of materials. In recognition of its value and the need for protection, Mohenjo-daro was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1980, which helped attract international attention and funding aimed at preserving and protecting this ancient window into early urban life. Continuing from the intriguing discoveries and preservation efforts, the urban layout and architecture of Mohenjo-daro are indeed remarkable, reflecting a level of sophistication and scale that's astounding for its time period, around 2600 BCE to 1900 BCE. As a critical part of the ancient Indus Valley civilization, this city offers profound insights into the early techniques of urban planning and architecture that have stood the test of time. Mohenjo-daro spanned at least 1.5 square kilometers, with some estimates suggesting it might have covered over 5 square kilometers at its peak, making it one of the largest cities of its time. The city was meticulously planned with a grid system, dividing it into a lower town and a citadel area. Streets running north-south and east-west sliced the city into well-organized blocks, demonstrating the urban planner's keen grasp of design principles. Residential blocks were designed with precision to ensure uniform appearance from the outside and direct access to street-side drainage, reflecting a controlled approach to urban development and adherence to municipal regulations.
Is knowledge preserved and passed down through the ages? Yes, I think it is.
The city's drainage system was extraordinarily advanced for its era. Each house was connected to a street-side drainage channel through individual drainage pits, a setup that showcases early mastery in sanitary engineering. These drains, constructed from baked brick and gypsum mortar, included manholes at intervals for maintenance, features that would not be out of place in a modern city. The buildings of Mohenjo-daro were primarily built using sun-dried and fired mud brick. Baked bricks were particularly used for constructing bath and drainage structures to better withstand moisture. The architectural variety within the city was notable, with homes ranging from small single-room dwellings to large multi-storied buildings, indicating a society with socio-economic diversity. A typical house featured a courtyard surrounded by rooms, providing light and air to living spaces, with some houses boasting 2 or even 3 stories. The standardization in brick size, typically measuring 7 by 14 by 28 centimeters, suggests there was a centralized system for the production and distribution of building materials. Most materials for construction were likely sourced locally, given the abundance of clay in the Indus region, ideal for brickmaking. However, special items like the large stones used in some public buildings might have been sourced from further away and transported to the site. When we compare the urban planning and architectural sophistication of Mohenjo-daro with that of ancient Egypt during the same period, a fascinating picture emerges. While the Egyptians focused more on monumental structures like pyramids, constructed from large stone blocks quarried from distant locations such as Tura and Aswan, the people of Mohenjo-daro excelled in creating a functional urban landscape that prioritized civic amenities and residential comfort. Building on the sophisticated urban planning and architecture of Mohenjo-daro, the archaeological site is also renowned for some extraordinary artifacts that shed light on the cultural and technological advancements of the Indus Valley civilization.
We're going to see more physical evidence for this, more as time goes by.
The dancing girl is a captivating bronze figurine, merely 10.5 centimeters tall, capturing a young girl in a dynamic pose with one hand on her hip and the other casually dangling at her side. The level of detail in the figurine is remarkable, showing off intricate jewelry and a detailed hairstyle that points to a highly sophisticated sense of aesthetics and craftsmanship. This small statue is not just a piece of art. It highlights the advanced metalworking skills of the time, being one of the few metal artifacts discovered at Mohenjo-daro. Another significant find is the so-called priest-king statue, a small steatite sculpture standing about 17.5 centimeters high. It depicts a male figure seated, adorned in an intricately engraved robe and wearing a fillet around his head, which might have once held a feather or other decoration. The sculpture's serene expression and the precision of its beard trimming suggest meticulous grooming and possibly a high social or religious status. Some scholars believe this figure might symbolize an idealized form of leadership or divine authority, integrating both political and religious power, though it may not represent a specific individual. Perhaps the most architecturally impressive discovery at Mohenjo-daro is the Great Bath. Located centrally on the citadel mound, this large pool measures roughly 12 meters by 7 meters and is about 2.4 meters deep. It's constructed from finely fitted bricks sealed with a layer of natural tar, making it waterproof, an advanced construction technique for the time. The Great Bath is believed to have been used for ritual purification rites, reflecting the civic and religious practices of the Indus people. The structure was ingeniously fed by a well, and an adjacent drain allowed for the emptying and cleaning of the bath, indicating a sophisticated management of water resources. Comparing the Great Bath with Roman baths brings interesting insights. Like Mohenjo-daro's bath, Roman baths were central to social and religious life, going beyond mere hygiene to serve as gathering places for social interaction and ritual practices. However, Roman baths were typically more complex, featuring varied temperatures across different rooms and incorporating technologies like steam baths and underfloor heating, showing different scales and advancements in engineering. An intriguing theory related to Mohenjo-daro's significance within the Indus Valley civilization is the hydraulic hypothesis, which suggests that the city served as a religious center coordinating the management of an extensive system of irrigation canals. This hypothesis proposes that the city's leadership wielded both political and religious authority, crucial for managing the water resources vital for agriculture in the arid environment.
3 years after the fall of Jerusalem and the Temple, when an Arch of Triumph was erected in Rome, 960 men were holding that cliff of Masada against the whole might of the Roman Empire. I had the honor and privilege to excavate the site completely, and in fact all the discoveries which we made prove that the story of Josephus Flavius was correct.
Perched high above the Dead Sea, the ancient fortress of Masada stands as a magnificent structure to human ingenuity and resilience. This awe-inspiring megastructure, discovered by scientists, reveals a fascinating blend of royal luxury and desperate defiance. But the story doesn't end there. Just a short distance away, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls has added an even deeper layer of mystery and historical significance to the region. Join us as we unravel the secrets of Masada and explore how these incredible finds are reshaping our understanding of ancient civilizations. Masada is an ancient fortification located on a rugged, isolated rock plateau in the southeastern region of Israel, overlooking the western shore of the Dead Sea. This impressive site, also known as Masada in Hebrew, symbolizes Jewish heroism due to its historical significance and dramatic landscape. Rising approximately 450 meters above the level of the Dead Sea, Masada is an imposing natural fortress. The plateau itself is about 600 meters long and 300 meters wide at its widest point, with a flat top covering around 9 hectares, roughly equivalent in size to 17 football fields. Constructed during the reign of Herod the Great between 37 and 31 BCE, Masada was chosen for its defensible position and strategic advantage. Herod, known for his monumental building projects, envisioned Masada as a refuge for himself and his followers in case of a revolt. The site gained particular historical prominence during the First Jewish-Roman battle. According to the Jewish historian Flavius Josephus, Masada became the last stronghold of Jewish rebels known as the Sicarii, who held out against a Roman siege. After a lengthy siege, the Romans constructed a massive ramp on the western side of the plateau to breach the walls. Masada has yielded a plethora of archaeological treasures that provide a vivid glimpse into the lives of its ancient inhabitants. The primary excavations conducted by Israeli archaeologist Yigael Yadin in the 1960s uncovered numerous artifacts and structures that tell the story of Herod's grand vision and the final stand of the Jewish rebels. Herod's palace complex at Masada is a testament to his architectural ambition and penchant for luxury. The complex is divided into several distinct sections. The northern palace is the most elaborate part, constructed on 3 rock terraces. The upper terrace housed living quarters and a semicircular portico that offered stunning views of the Dead Sea. The middle terrace featured an elaborate reception hall, while the lower terrace included a bathhouse with a sophisticated hypocaust heating system. The walls were adorned with frescoes depicting floral and geometric designs, and the floors were covered with intricate mosaics, showcasing the opulence of Herod's reign. The Western Palace served as the administrative hub, including living quarters, storerooms, and a large central courtyard. It also contained an audience room with a throne niche, indicating Herod's need for a formal space to conduct affairs of state. The palace's storerooms were well stocked with foodstuffs, wine, and oil, indicating meticulous preparation for a prolonged stay or siege. The palace complex featured several bathhouses, equipped with both cold and hot baths, steam rooms, and dressing rooms. These bathhouses were marvels of engineering, with sophisticated water heating and circulation systems that reflect the Roman influence on Herod's architectural style. The synagogue at Masada is one of the oldest synagogues discovered in Israel, providing a rare glimpse into Jewish religious practices during the Second Temple period. Stone benches lining the walls would have accommodated congregants during prayer and study. A small room adjacent to the main hall, believed to have been used to store religious texts, yielded fragments of biblical scrolls, including parts of Deuteronomy and Ezekiel, underscoring the spiritual life of the Masada inhabitants. The Roman ramp and surrounding siege camps are significant for understanding Roman military strategy and engineering prowess. Built on the western side of the plateau, the ramp is a massive earthwork structure, rising over 200 meters. Constructed by the 10th Roman Legion, the ramp allowed the Romans to move siege towers and battering rams to breach the fortress walls. 8 Roman camps encircled Masada, their outlines still visible today. These camps housed thousands of soldiers and included command centers, barracks, and supply depots. The largest camp, known as Camp F, served as the headquarters for the Roman commander, Lucius Flavius Silva. One fascinating theory posits that the Sicarii rebels might have engaged in psychological warfare against the Romans. Imagine the rebels using reflective surfaces, such as polished shields or metal objects, to create blinding flashes of sunlight aimed at the Roman soldiers. This clever tactic could have disrupted Roman activities and lowered their morale. While speculative, this theory adds a layer of intrigue to the story of Masada's defense. An interesting comparison can be made between Masada and Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay, USA. Both are isolated fortifications with dramatic histories of resistance and imprisonment. Alcatraz is famous for its use as a federal prison, known for holding notorious criminals and its almost impossible to escape location. Meanwhile, Masada is renowned for its role as a last stand against a powerful enemy. The structures on Masada were not carved directly from the mountain, but were built using stones quarried from the surrounding area. The natural features of the plateau were cleverly incorporated into the design, enhancing its defensive capabilities. Herod's engineers were particularly skilled, creating elaborate water systems, including cisterns capable of storing large quantities of water. This ensured a sustainable supply in the arid environment, a critical factor for the inhabitants' survival during sieges. Masada is not only a historical site but also a natural one, home to a variety of unique flora and fauna. The plateau and its surroundings are part of the Judean Desert, which hosts several species adapted to the harsh, arid environment. Among the interesting wildlife that can be spotted around Masada are the Nubian ibex, a type of wild goat known for its impressive climbing abilities, and the Tristram's starling, a bird recognizable by its glossy black feathers and orange wing patches. These species add an ecological dimension to the experience of visiting Masada, showcasing the biodiversity of the region alongside its rich history. One of the most significant ancient discoveries near Masada is the collection of texts known as the Dead Sea Scrolls. These ancient manuscripts were found in a series of caves around the site of Qumran, located about 20 kilometers northwest of Masada. The Dead Sea Scrolls were first discovered by Bedouin shepherds in 1947 and later excavated by archaeologists in the 1950s. Dating from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE, these scrolls include some of the oldest known copies of the Hebrew Bible, along with a variety of other texts that shed light on the religious practices and beliefs of the time. The scrolls are composed of several types of writings. Around 40% of the scrolls are copies of texts from the Hebrew Bible, including parts of every book except Esther, providing critical insight into the early forms of the biblical manuscripts. There are also sectarian manuscripts, which include rules, hymns, and commentaries specific to the community believed to have inhabited Qumran, often identified as the Essenes. These documents offer a glimpse into the beliefs, practices, and daily life of this group. Additionally, there are apocryphal and pseudepigraphal texts, which are writings not included in the canonical Hebrew Bible. These include additional stories and interpretations that were part of the broader Jewish tradition at the time. The scrolls were found in 11 caves near Qumran, and the site itself has been extensively excavated. Archaeologists have uncovered ruins of a settlement that likely housed the Essenes, featuring communal dining rooms, ritual baths, and a scriptorium where some of the scrolls may have been copied. This settlement provides valuable context for the scrolls and insight into the community that produced and used them. There is a historical link between Masada and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some of the scrolls found at Masada itself during Yigael Yadin's excavations included biblical texts similar to those discovered at Qumran. This suggests that the Jewish rebels who occupied Masada during the Roman siege might have brought these sacred texts with them, further highlighting the cultural and religious continuity in the region during that period. The discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls is often considered one of the greatest archaeological finds of the 20th century, providing invaluable insights into the history of Judaism and the early development of Christianity. The scrolls are now housed in the Shrine of the Book at the Israel Museum in Jerusalem, where they continue to be a major focus of scholarly research and public interest.